Welcome in, comrades. My name is Jack Sperry, and this is the Commanders Report. Today, what we're going to be talking about, free agency. It's right around the corner, and we're going to be discussing offensive line. It's no secret that the Washington Commanders need to build the interior of the offensive line this offseason. We're going to be discussing two big names that the Commanders could be looking into come next week. But before we get into today's action, do me a favor and click that subscribe button for me right now. NFL free agency is almost here. It's just next week. Things are going to be going crazy next week as the Commanders look to build their offensive line, maybe get some defensive pieces. There's going to be big changes that are made to this Commanders roster, and you are going to want to know what changes are made. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you always know when we come out with new videos, letting you know all the changes that are happening with the Washington Commanders this offseason. So first up here, Ben Powers, coming from Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report says that this is the guy that the Washington Commanders should be targeting. Very good player, but this is what they had to say about the former Raven offensive guard. The protection on the interior would be improved with Ben Powers on the roster. Neither guard spot was a strength for Washington last year. And Alex Ballantyne from Bleacher Report continues here to say Powers didn't give up a single sack and had PFF's second highest graded pass blocking grade. His presence would make life easier for whoever is taking snaps at QB in Washington. So last year, Ben Powers, very solid player, right? 62.3 PFF grade last season. That's good for 38th in the National Football League. So he's a little bit above league average, not much better than that. So he's a very solid guard. He's been a solid guard for a very long time. And with Trai Turner hitting the free agent market for the Washington Commanders, it makes sense to bring in a guy like Ben Powers that has done a really good job at being a solid pro, especially in pass protection throughout his career. Right now, PFF, Pro Football Focus, they project that his market value on the free agent market will be 4 years, $10 million per season, so $40 million total. That's not a bad price for a really good, really solid veteran offensive guard. Might be a little pricey for my blood, but at the end of the day, if the Commanders got him for this price, I wouldn't bat an eye. He is a good player. And then ESPN. So we go from Bleacher Report to ESPN here, and they named Will Hernandez, another offensive guard, as a must-sign for the Washington Commanders in the 2023 offseason. This is what Aaron Schatz from ESPN and Football Outsiders had to say about the former Cardinal offensive guard. The Commanders will need a new right guard to replace Trai Turner and could be a good match for Hernandez, who finally lived up to his second-round pedigree with a breakout year for the Cardinals. And Will Hernandez, man, he played pretty darn solid for the Arizona Cardinals in 2022. He was really maybe the only solid offensive lineman they had last year. The Cardinals' offensive line was in complete shambles all season long, except for this guy. This guy played a pretty darn good season. He was a second-round pick, didn't really live up to his potential, joined the Cardinals this year, and he was their best offensive lineman. Last year, he graded with a 65.4 PFF grade, which was good for 30th out of 77 eligible guards in the National Football League, again, according to Pro Football Focus, and that's better than Ben Powers. And despite the fact that Will Hernandez arguably had a better season than Ben Powers last year, right now Pro Football Focus projects that he's going to be making less money. So right now his expected market value, according to Pro Football Focus, again, 3 years, $4 million per season. So it is $6 million less per season to get a guy like Will Hernandez than it is to get an established veteran like Ben Powers. So to me, the question becomes, is Will Hernandez the better value between the two guards? I actually think yes. Ben Powers is a solid guard, really good in pass protection, has been for a long time, but Will Hernandez showed that he can really be a good offensive guard in the National Football League last year. He's younger, and you can get him for less per season. I think if I had a choice between the two, I would pick Will Hernandez, but let me know what you think in the comment section right now. If you would rather sign Ben Powers, type BP in the comment section, or type WH if you think Will Hernandez.